If it's got to be, it's got to be. That's the way it is. I actually forgot I was actually presenting until today, but any good business owner is ready to talk about their business and fully up on everything. So with that, let's give you a little background on me. I'm a graduate from Duke University. Duke. Yes. Go Blue Devils. Absolutely love that fact. I graduated there in 1986. I cooked professionally for 30 years before giving it all up, changing careers, and now I'm an ASE certified master mechanic who now runs a business. Basically, I've been in this industry for 15 years. My brother's been in the industry for over 23 years, so between us we have 38 years experience in the industry. Been working on cars pretty much mostly all of my life. My first car was a 66 GTO, which we had a 400 wig block, choke-induced car, board 60 over, nitro-induced, 411s. It was made to run the quarter mile. It was not street legal. We probably dumped about $35,000 into the engine just to make it run the way it did. But that being said, I served in the Marine Corps from 82 to 86 while in North Carolina, stationed at Cherry Point. That's how I got my degree. I was working the early shift 3 to 3, then I turn around and I go to classes till 9 o'clock at night. So, we've done a lot of things. True Care Auto Repair came about because, it's not my first shop, it's more like my second. Actually my third, because my brother had a shop in Idaho. We worked together then. I came over here. I opened a shop up in Enumclaw. Both of us, because of bad partners, got together and decided to put True Care Auto Repair together. We did that about 5 months ago. And now it's about maintaining your car. That's really, when people think of auto repair shops, they don't think about taking care of their car. One of the most neglected areas in a car, how many people change their power steering pump fluid on a regular basis? Okay, seriously, let's look at this. No, it's not something that's normally done when you take it into service. It's one of the most overlooked systems in your car. How many people know that the fluid in your power steering pump is nothing more than, can be transmission fluid or 80-90 weight oil? You change your car, you change the oil in your car, right? Why don't you change the oil in your power steering pump?
The Bronco leaks enough to where I figured.
If I had a dime for every time I heard that, but here's the problem is you're leaking that fluid, so you're leaking that fluid onto other parts of your car, and other parts of your car are going bad. You've heard the expression, you can pay me now or pay me later? That's really true. You can pay me now to maintain your car, and your car can run 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles, or you can absolutely just run the car into the ground like a lot of people do, and then it breaks and go, I don't know why it doesn't work. But this is the thing, we have to maintain our cars. If you take care of your car takes care of you. Yes, it's an investment. Like Kevin says, the moment you drive it off the lot, it loses value. But what we want to do is we want to get you the most value out of that car. So how do we do that? We do it with your regular oil change between 3,000 and 5,000 miles, because let's face it, viscosities in oil are changing. You can go a little bit further. There are some oils out there that can go up to 7,000 to 10,000 miles. That, for me, even in the most conventional sense, is just absolutely pushing it. The most I've ever ran a car is 5,000 miles before changing the oil. And that doesn't matter whether it's a full synthetic, an SAE, a synthetic blend. There's so many things that are out on the market today, as far as oils go, and they're specific, Some of the other things, when you change the oil, we also do the transmission. Got to maintain your transmission. Your transmission is the heartbeat. Where your engine is the heartbeat of your car, the transmission is like your legs. It's the meat. It's what gets you from point A to point B. It's what drives your car. So flushing that transmission, and not just the way that a lot of shops do, because a lot of shops just open the transmission pan, drain the fluid out, slap a new filter in there, slap back up, throw 4 or 5 quarts of transmission fluid in there, call it good. Well, there's about 9 more quarts of transmission fluid that sits in the torque converter. And the only way to truly get to that is to go through the cooler lines and do a total transmission flush. Now, we at True Care Auto Repair, when we do a transmission flush, we use anywhere from 3 to 4 gallons of transmission fluid. Because we want to make sure that we get everything out of there. We want to cycle through. Because not only when we're through getting the cycle done, but then we actually drop the pan. We actually drop the pan first, do the filter, then we cycle everything, through. And so we ensure that we have clean fluid going into your car. And we do this is roughly a 60 to 90,000 mile service that you need to do. The next system we really take care of is your antifreeze. There's 2 times a year you need to check your antifreeze. Right now, because of the winter and the cold, you need to make sure that your antifreeze is good and it's going to get down to temperature. It's not going to freeze and blow your freeze plugs out, to which will be a nice little like $1,000 replacement because you got to pull the engine and all that stuff to get it done. And the other thing is, it's the summertime. You need to make sure that your temperature is keeping your car cool and stuff like that. And these systems, typically, they'll go bad. There's other things that you can do to maintain this system. So what we do is we recommend that you flush your radiator once a year in the spring, have it checked right before winter, and that way your car will run smoothly all year long. We also have AC service. We can fix most ACs. There's a new brand of AC coming out, and unless you have a brand new car, you really don't need to worry about it. R134A, which is the refrigerant of today, is going to stay around for a while, but we now have the new refrigerant, which is 1234A. And it's really just in the 2015, 2016 cars, so we won't see it for another 3 years down the road. If you have an older car and it has R12, there's only 3 places in the state that take care of it. There's one here in Tacoma, there's one up in Seattle, and there's one in Spokane. And it's getting so bad that right now that R12 is running, I think they said $250 a pound. So if you need 2 pounds of refrigerant in your R12 system, you're going to pay $500 just for the refrigerant. Yes?
Is it possible to change that out?
It is possible to retrofit your AC. That, however, $1,500. But I'll tell you what.
The top side of the range?
That is absolutely average, because what we're doing is we're replacing the AC pump, we're flushing the lines, possibly refreshing the lines and stuff like that. And then we got to put a new dryer in it. And the biggest part of that cost right there is the AC pump. It's usually about a $300 item. Then your AC dryer, which takes the moisture out of your AC system, is usually anywhere from $100 to $150 a part. That's the downside of it. The fact of the matter is that we then take the whole system apart, we put a special cleaner in there, we flush it out, we get the retrofit parts on there, we replace all your O-rings, we check the system, we make sure everything's right, and if it's got R12 in it, we have to take it to a place that does R12. Normally they'll take that stuff for free because they turn around and resell it, because they're the ones that deal with that. It's just about a $5,000 machine, and it's just not worth the investment. There's not enough money in it. For those who already have them, great. For those who don't, not worth the time. But then we do that, and we turn around and we recharge your system, and we make sure it's blowing cold. And I've never had a system that I couldn't get down to about 34, 35, 36 degrees. You just absolutely blow icicles, blow you right out of the car. I love doing that. I have a lot of fun doing that. Let's see, so we covered that. We talked to you about the AC system. So what's all left? So it's about really maintaining your car. It's about being nice to your car. It's about when you get into those extreme driving systems, have your brakes checked on a regular basis. If you bring it to us for an oil change, guess what? We're checking your brakes. We want to make sure your vehicle's safe on the car. So now that we've talked about doing all these services, we're not just an in-out type of place. Because True Care Auto Repair, where we truly care about your car, when I say that, we do it with a sense of pride. Who are we? Well, who we are is the people who won't put you out on the street in a car that we wouldn't put our own family behind. The way we look at car service is when you bring your car to us, you're putting your life into our hands. And we take that very, very seriously. We don't want to do a shoddy brake job, have you go out on the freeway, have your brakes fail, and wind up killing you, yourself, your family members, or anyone else on the road. I mean, we take it that seriously, and there are times when we haven't let cars out of the shop without signing a waiver that the car is unsafe. And a lot of times, I'll give you, for instance, we had a lady who had a bad steering joint just a little while back. Well, in replacing the tie rod end, we found out that the steering knuckle was bad. And it was so unsafe that we didn't know if it was going to break if she turned a corner. Well, she didn't want to do the repair. She refused to do the repair. We actually made her tow the car home because we weren't going to let her go with just a waiver. But because that car was so dangerous on the road, we actually had her have it towed home because she refused to do the repair. And what that comes down to is it comes down to liability. You know, once you touch a car, your company is liable. So what we do is we really protect ourselves and we protect you. You know, if we get tires that are worn down to the threads, normally, depending on how bad the tire is, I'll go get a used one. I can go down to 56th Street, get a used tire for 20 bucks, put it on your car, no big deal. Usually about a $50 ticket by the end of the time you're done, $35. But, you know, it's the little things that we do that really set us apart from other businesses. If I had a dime for every drain plug I've ever replaced that went to Buc-ee's or Grease Monkey or somewhere else, and I'm not trying to slam those, but they hire unskilled labor, and unskilled labor doesn't care about rounding off your oil plug bolt. So, you know, it's a small item, but these little things add up. We're really about maintaining the cars. Yes, we do the major repairs. Yes, we do the major engine swaps. And occasionally we have a mechanic screw up and we wind up eating some stuff. We're going through one of those situations right now. We just had a mechanic roll an engine backward and bust a bunch of valves in an engine. So that one is going to go to the insurance and it's a little bit expensive. But the other thing about our company is we're transparent. We don't just maintain your car. We absolutely, you know, we keep record of everything. We make sure your car is up to snuff. We take care of your car. Your car in our hands is like our car in our hands. Actually, it's probably better because as a mechanic, you never get to work on your own car. You're always working on somebody else's. But really, the ideal that we try and instill in everybody that works for us is that, you know, we treat your car as a big investment, and we like to have it run at peak performance. And we know, of course, money gets tight and sometimes stuff gets off. But again, you can pay us now or you can pay us later. You know, and it's when you pay us later that the bill doesn't go from, you know, $150 to $200 for some of these services. That's when the bill starts getting up into the $1,500, $1,600, $2,000 range and sits in my shop for 3 weeks because I'm waiting on parts or trying to get you something else or doing this or doing that. And it's just, to give you an idea, the easiest engine swap we have can be done in about 4 hours. The most complicated one takes 22.5. Yeah. No, actually, Kevin can attest to this. It's a Ford Adrenaline. And it is a very, very, very complicated motor. A lot of your motors, tune-ups. Let's talk about tune-ups. Tune-ups, as we know them, have absolutely gone by the wayside. Why? Because it's not just points, rotors, condenser, cap, spark plug wires. Because of the introduction of the ECM, or the electronic control module, better known as the brain of your car, better known as your car's computer, has taken away all that. With the things that are coming out today, we got GDI, we got direct port injection, direct injection, we've got fuel injection, and then we've got throttle body injection. All this is controlled by an ECM. Well, the ECMs have taken over to where there's no longer, some of the systems on some cars are absolutely distributorless. They run through coil packs, they run all through timing. The computer is taking over the car. And it's not just any car, it's your hybrids, it's your Chevys. Everybody's moving to where these new engines are just coming out, and they're just so high tech, and we keep up with the times. We keep up with our schooling. In fact, there's schooling tonight for us on some new systems coming out, and it's a constant process for us. So we're constantly updating our skills. You get a check engine light, you bring it to us, everybody says, oh yeah, I can go down here and do that. Okay, that's great. But that check engine light pops up certain codes. Well, we have an instrument called a modus. It's made by Snap-on. This tool cost us $10,000. This is a $10,000 instrument, and it wipes out the codes. It does the codes, but it does more than that. It lets us individually test your systems to pinpoint where exactly it is. You get a check engine light, it's an O2 sensor. Depending on your car, we can pinpoint exactly which one it is. Where you pay $60 an hour for this service, what you get away with is you don't get a guy saying, well, it could be the upper, it could be the lower. I think I need to replace both. So, yeah, it's going to be about $500 and 2 minutes? Okay. So, it's really what it is and what it's about, and it's what we do. And we get a lot of questions a lot of times. I spend a lot of time researching parts. We have about 40 different vendors that gets us parts, anywhere from new to used. And so that's kind of what we do. Yes?
I don't know if you said this. Are you a franchise, or you guys?
Well, it's funny that you mention that, because when I developed the logo for this, I registered it, I trademarked it, and so everybody who's got the name True Care Auto Repair across the United States has now have to cease and desist using the name.
Yeah.
Yep. Nobody else trademarked the name, so yes, we are made to be we are the parent company that could franchise out to other places. We built our stuff like that. Yes, sir.
For somebody interested in buying a car, are there any ones that you would avoid?
When it comes to buying a car, bring it to us. We do a full workup for $69.95. And really, when you're buying a car, you really need to have it checked out by a mechanic, especially if it's used. And anybody who doesn't agree to let you take it to mechanic, walk away from the sale.
What all do you check?
We do everything. We do the compression test, we look at the water pump, we look at the belts, we look at all the systems, we pull the dipsticks, we check all the fluids, we look at the brakes, we look at everything to give you the best possible evaluation of that car that you have. It takes about an hour. Do we have loaners? We do have one loaner that we have right now that is out that should be coming back today. We're looking at doing that. We do also flip cars, so we turn around and we sell cars too. We have several coming up for sale right now.
If you had a car that needed four-wheel drive, that's probably an all-day project. You can loan a car to...
Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that.
Yeah, just a random question.
We specialize in four-wheel drive because both of our trucks are four-wheel drive, so we've got that down pretty good.
So things like that aren't your common maintenance, though, isn't a problem for you, right?
No,
Okay.
no, not a problem at all. Time consuming, but not a problem.
Mike,
Yes.
Ford and American cars, either one you guys work?
I'm starting to shy away a little bit from the foreign cars because Audis and Volkswagens in particular. In fact, we just made an agreement with Mouse Meat today that we're going to refer all Audis and Volkswagens to them, and they're going to refer everything else to us. Because Audis and Volkswagens there's too many specialty tools that we need to buy, and literally there's probably about $20,000 worth of specialty tools that you need to work on those cars.
What about, Toyota 4Runner?
Toyotas all day long.
So do you calibrate the Volkswagen system to the factory or to what it should be?
Actually, I don't touch Volkswagens. I don't touch Volkswagens if I can absolutely help it. Because even changing them, you need a 72, even changing oil in some of the Volkswagens that have come out today, you need a $72 tool just to change the oil.
So that's why they charge me on the surgery.
Yes, exactly. So, any other questions?
One more.
Sure.
Did you say you were a cook? Did I hear that right?
Yes, I did actually cook 30 years professionally, skilled in 5 different cuisines.
What was your specialty? What did you?
Mandarin, Szechuan, Tex-Mex, authentic Mexican, and Polynesian.
You ever thought about getting on Hell's Kitchen?
No, I'd hit the dude. I just, I do that occasionally. I will say that my specialty is probably my teriyaki sauce, which comes from Hawaii, and I don't cook any teriyaki that hasn't marinated for 3 days. It's a 3-day process. So with that, my time is up. I'm good. Thank you.